Hey, what's up guys? It's Jay here. So here are the OnePlus phones I've owned over the years. OnePlus 1, OnePlus 3T, OnePlus 5T, OnePlus 6, and the latest for today is the OnePlus 7 Pro. So now I swapped to other phones in between, but as you can see, I've always come back like I'm in some bad relationship. I've always left because some of the choices OnePlus has made and the camera, pretty much. The OnePlus 8T is more of the same for me. And I'm really surprised by all the so-called reviewers going easy on OnePlus. Even the ones that I know are criticizing them, they're not really going in depth as to why certain things aren't good. Well, I purchased the phone with my own hard money, so I don't have to report to anyone but myself. So I hope you guys can support me by giving this video a like and consider subscribing and enable those notification bell. I'm doing this so I can get the word out about the truth versus what the media tells you. So with that, let's get started. So let's get some of the bad and ugly out of the way. So no IP68 wireless charge, naming a couple off the bat, especially at this price range at $750 USD. Missing phone case that they used to include, that's also another thing. And pretty much those are the only major omissions. The rest of the gripes are pretty much what we've seen from OnePlus in the last couple years now. Some head scratching one too. So let's talk about the one thing that OnePlus has consistently done, which is the camera. What I'm talking about is that the camera uses a IMX586 sensor, which is the same sensor they've been using since the OnePlus 7 Pro, so almost 2 years. And the reason why I said it's consistent because they've been using the same sensor, but it's not good. Problem is they haven't really improved a whole lot since they've been using this sensor. They're trying to do the whole Google thing where they're using the same sensor, they're trying to improve it year by year. And unfortunately, this is still the weakest point of the phone. It looks like it has 6 circles of cameras on the back, so it must be amazing, right? But again, it's not. And so really the main sensor is really good in daylight, and that's about it. And unfortunately, OnePlus, you guys don't have the resources to do that. This is where better hardware helps. Look at Huawei, look at other companies. They're actually putting hardware in to compensate for the software for a bit. So that aside, the photos are pretty much what I've seen from the 7 Pro I had. Good, but not the best processing still. Indoor lit photos have quite a bit of noise due to consistent use of high ISO values from the software. Video is more or less the same story. White balance can be good, but ultimately it's hit or miss. Good things are Gcam. Again, this is mostly picking at the indoor performance, whereas most cameras do very well with ample light. So please, OnePlus, just let us replace the stock camera on the shortcuts. Probably the biggest omission at this price range is the lack of 4K on the front camera. That's quite disappointing, to be honest. Not many reviewers dinged OnePlus on this, which is I'm really surprised, quite honestly. I'm not really going to comment on the macro and monochrome sensors. They're just gimmicks to me, so yeah. Ultra wide is better than the 7 Pro I use, so that's good. But with any ultra wide, it's only good in good lighting if you want to get great results. Otherwise, the camera performs just as you expect. Good natural colors most of the time. Low light is just okay, and again, use Gcam for a night sight. It's just way better. Oh, performance, let's talk about it. Normally, this is the best part of OnePlus. I'm sad to report that this time, it isn't. The first day using it, I had at least 3 random reboots. That's pretty bad. This happened the most when I was trying to access the camera from the lock screen or using the power button double tap feature. I've been having issues registering my fingerprint, and even after washing my hands twice for good measure, it kept saying that the sensor is dirty or something, or my finger's dirty. The alarm wasn't even set, even though the toggle was on. That was a huge issue, that the notifications were being missed. It seems like it was a bug because as I turned it back on and off again, it seemed to work, but it never actually gone through. So I actually had to go through and disable the optimizations that OnePlus is doing in the background. And this is another sticking point, that the software needs fixing. There's bugs everywhere. It's kind of crazy. I'm really surprised, disappointed about this, but it is what it is at this point. Also, the use of other corner cutting and the use of DDR4 RAM instead of 5 at this price level is almost insulting. And when you add that there isn't a plus variant of the 865 Snapdragon, just makes it all the worse. Otherwise, it's very smooth, and I love using it mostly because it's bloat free. for the most part. So the OnePlus 8T doesn't really stray from the typical OnePlus design, glass sandwich, slab type of thing. And they have these crazy colors again this time. It's kind of like the Nord and I guess like a green color, depending on the light you shine on it. And I think they got their act together for the 8T. Basically, it feels a lot better to use than any other OnePlus phone I had. However, I will say that it's only using Gorilla Glass 5. And yeah, it's a little bit cost cutting, but it's fine. The dual speakers are pretty good, actually. They're not quite flagship, and they're a bit tinny at max volume, but overall, it's a good set of speakers. Haptics are actually really good this time, behind the iPhone, Samsung Pixel, so I'd say they're in that third place between the Pixel and the OnePlus there. The flat display panel gets decently bright, and it's par for the course. When you set the display to its sRGB mode or natural mode here, it's fairly accurate. I compared it to my Note 20 Ultra along with my calibrated monitor I use for editing. So I'd say that the 8T is cooler on the white balance, as well as the warm colors are a little bit more saturated in this mode. Contrast is also slightly bumped up, so I wouldn't call this the most accurate calibrated panel. Neither displays, the Note 20 or this one, 8T, are close to my monitor, in which I calibrated before testing. The max brightness is pretty good on its own. Of course, it can't hold up against the Note 20 Ultra that I have, but I'm not really expecting it to. So the AOD actually is completely useless outdoors. I noticed that when I'm outside, it doesn't really do anything. I can't even see it in any kind of daytime lighting. It's kind of bad, so might as well just had to turn it off. Otherwise, it's no problems indoors and, it works fine. I do like the new AOD that they have. It's like really cool. It shows you the number of times you unlocked, and it's like a little timeline. So it's pretty cool. And one of the big features of this upgrade is the 120 Hertz. So that's definitely worth it, and definitely worth it over the 8, because the 8 only had 90 Hertz, and why not? You should take 120 when you can get it. So, I think this is just better. So I mentioned this phone is really easy to use and feels really nice in hand because it's a lot narrower, and also the coating that they use in the back feels really nice. And also they have things like the alert slider, which is great. I wish other Android phones had this, but hey, it's also an upgrade from the 7 Pro in feeling and the design, so it feels more tactical, feels more sturdy. And the back of the phone doesn't get any smudges on this aquamarine color. And lastly, let's talk about the battery. So the battery is still awesome here. Charges super fast with that 65-watt charging. So you can get 100% in less than an hour, about 40 minutes or so. So that's pretty insane when you consider this is a 4500 milliamp battery. But like with other OnePlus phones, you need to use their charger to get the speeds. However, the good thing here is that the 8T supports USB-C power delivery 3, so it can get up to 27 watts on its own, so not bad. And I'm getting about 5 to 6 hours screen on time, but the fact that I can charge so quickly doesn't really matter as long as I have my charger. Even using USB power delivery, I can get at least 50% quickly with a compatible battery bank. So now you hopefully understand why I have this love-hate relationship with OnePlus. Well, you might say get the 8 Pro, but my response is that at that price range, there's other options. And to me, OnePlus shines when they provide the best bang for buck value. That's what they've been known for, and that's how they really started. So I feel like they have to go back to their roots and stop producing all these phones so quickly. And here's the real reason to get the 8T. Get it when it's on sale like they had recently twice. They had it twice. I picked it up new, about 600, and at that price, you get an amazing phone with a good camera. With some tweaks, you can get some amazing photos and videos. So otherwise, this camera is serviceable. The performance is good. There's some bugs, but I'm willing to deal with it at that price range. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll have more videos like this coming soon. With that, I'll see you guys later.